Today we're talking about CCM6, converting customary measurements. This is a calculator active type of activity. So we're going to be converting customary measurements. Those are measurements that we use here in the United States. Here are some common measurements. Go ahead and start filling out the table on your worksheet or writing this down on your piece of notebook paper. In length, we use feet, yards, and miles. So 1 foot equals 12 inches, 1 yard is equal to 3 feet, and 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. When we weigh things, we have pounds, ounces, and tons. 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. You can use these conversions to find other conversions. So I could figure out how many ounces are in 1 ton even though I don't have it written here. That's the type of stuff we're going to be doing in a second. Volume, we use a lot of volume measurements when we're measuring liquids or when you're cooking, you're using a lot of these measurements. 1 tablespoon equals 3 teaspoons. If you've ever been in the kitchen, these are 2 different types of measurements, and these are the abbreviations for those measurements. 1 fluid ounce equals 2 tablespoons. A fluid ounce is different than the ounce for weight. 1 cup is 16 tablespoons. 1 cup is also equal to 8 fluid ounces. 1 quart is equal to 4 cups, and 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. Now there are more measurements than just these, but these are the ones we're going to be working with today. So make sure you write this down in your table. Okay, we're going to be converting some units here, and we don't have the easy numbers that we were using before. For example, I don't have just 1 mile anymore, or 1 foot. So I have to use some proportions to help me figure out what the conversion would equal. So when we do that, you've gone through proportions by now, hopefully, but if you've forgotten, we're going to set up 2 fractions that are equal to one another. So I'm looking to find out how 1.5 miles converts to however many feet. So when I set up my proportion, that's my question. That's what I want to figure out. I also use my units in my proportion to help guide my math and so I don't get confused. So I'm using what I want to know, and I'm going to set that equal to what I already know. And you're going to use the chart that you just filled out. So we know that 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. So the reason I kept my units here in my proportion is so that I could align my work. So if I have miles in the numerator of the first fraction, I'm going to put miles in the numerator of the second fraction. And same with feet. Remember, this is what I want to know. This is what I already know. Now that I've got my proportion set up, I can easily cross multiply. So I'm going to be multiplying over here, multiplying here. I've got x times 1 is just x, and that's equal to whatever 1.5 times 5,280 is. This is why I said it's important for you to have a calculator. When we multiply that out, I get 7,920. And x stood for how many feet I needed. So I have my answer right here, 7,920 feet. All right, let's try number 2. 6 feet equals blank yards. So I'm going to write that up. I'm going to set that up in a fraction. So, okay, this is what I want to know. Well, what do I already know about feet and yards? I know that 3 feet equals 1 yard. My feet are aligned and my yards are aligned. When you go to cross multiply, you kind of ignore the units at this point, okay? So the units were there to help me line up my proportions, but when I go to multiply, I just pretend that they're not there for the moment. So x times 3, that's 3x. 6 times 1 is 6. So this problem is different than the previous problem because I still need to do some more work to get x by itself. I am not finished with this problem. To get x by itself, we are going to have to divide by 3, and x equals 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So 6 feet is equal to 2 yards because that's what I wanted to find out. All right? If you feel comfortable with this, go ahead and push pause, but I'm going to work through the rest of the problems 1 through 8 just so that you get comfortable with converting customary measurements. 5 quarts is equal to how many cups? So here I go. I know that 5 quarts is equal to x cups, and 1 quart is equal to 4 cups. I'm going to cross multiply. So this is what cross multiplying proportions looks like. 5 times 4 is 20. And 1 times x is just 1, so I know that 1x equals 20. That was my answer. That was an easy one. Okay, let's try the next one. 2.25 pounds equals x ounces. That's what I want to figure out. And I know that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. Okay, I'm going to cross multiply. And I'm multiplying my x times 1, I get 1x. And then in my calculator, I would punch 2.25 or 2 and 25 times 16, and I would get 36. So 36 ounces is the equivalent to 2.25 pounds. Okay? Stay with me if you want to work these out together. If you're ready to do some by yourself, just press pause and then check your answers when you're done. So 3 cups equals how many tablespoons? That's my first part of my proportion. 3 cups equals x tablespoons. Whoops. But looking at my chart, I know that 1 cup is equal to 16 tablespoons. I cross multiply. 1 times x is just x. 3 times 16 is 48. So 3 cups is equal to 48 tablespoons. All right, 3 inches equals how many feet? That's what I'm looking for. I know that 12 inches equals 1 foot. I cross multiply. X times 12 is 12x. 3 times 1 is 3. This is that type of problem that I'm going to have to do one extra step to find my answer because I want to know what x is by itself. Okay? Divide both sides by 12 and I get 3/12. I know that I can simplify 3/12 to get 1/4 because 3 is divisible by 3 and 12 is divisible by 3, and that reduces to 1/4. So 3 inches is 1/4 or 1/4 of a foot. 10 cups is, we want to know what that converts to in fluid ounces. So I know that 1 cup is equal to 8 fluid ounces. I'm going to cross multiply to figure out what x equals in my proportion. So I have 1x, and that equals 80. So if x stood for my fluid ounces, I would have 80 fluid ounces. That's equal to 10 cups. Number 8, a typical SUV weighs about 2.5 tons. How many pounds is that? Well, I'm looking to see how 2.5 tons, how that translates to pounds. But I know that 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. So again, when I cross multiply, and use my calculator, I will get 5,000 pounds. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to try the next 8 problems on your own. I'm going to fill them out here on the board for you, and then press pause when you're ready, press play, and they'll appear. So hopefully you had a second to do these problems. I'm going to fill in these blanks for you. 2,640 feet is 1/2 a mile. 36 yards is 108 feet. 1 1/2 quarts is 6 cups. 96 ounces is 6 pounds. 4 cups is 64 tablespoons. 6 feet is actually equal to 72 inches. 6.5 cups is equal to 52 fluid ounces. And then you have a parachute that falls at a speed of about 12 miles per hour. How many feet did the parachute fall in 1 hour? The parachute would fall 63,360 feet. All right, I hope you did well in this lesson. Check back on this YouTube site for more videos.